Ringo here.
And Vampyresskiss. We are here again at the site of Johnny Ringo's grave, and for the purpose of historical accuracy, we're redoing this video. But this tree that you see here in front of us is actually the tree where he was found dead. And if you look at this picture, it's a drawing that somebody did this last year of him in the tree. As you can see, the tree was much bigger. Obviously, some of it's dying, and it's dying even now. So, because I had said he was in another tree. Also, I want to show this really quick before I read about him. This is the only known picture of Johnny Ringo. He was a handsome fellow, wasn't he? So, okay, so I'm going to read some stuff about him. Okay, this was July 2nd, 1882. Johnny Ringo decided to move to Tombstone, Arizona territory. He has been living in San Simon and Galeyville. Arrives in town and meets editor Sam Purdy of the Tombstone Daily Epitaph, who later writes of their talk. He said he was a certain of being killed. God, I'm sorry, that's just tongue-tying for me. As he was of living then. He said he might run along for a couple of years more, or maybe the last 2 more days. Taking the 4th of July festivities, Ringo drinks heavily, carouses with his many pards. Then Ringo rides out of Tombstone several days later. He takes extra bottles of liquor for the road. The following Sunday, which was July 9th, the king of the cowboys is spotted eating dinner at Dial's Ranch in the South Pass of the Dragoons, still drinking. A veritable moving one-man feast. Ringo encounters Deputy Billy Breckenridge, who later writes of meeting in El Dorado. It was shortly after noon. Ringo was drunk, reeling in his saddle, and said he was going to Galeyville. It was in the summer and very hot out. He offered him a drink out of a bottle of half-full whiskey, and he had another full bottle. I tasted it, I think this is the sheriff talking, and it was too hot to drink. I burned my lips, knowing that he would have to ride nearly all night before he could reach Galeyville. I tried to get him to come back with me to the Goodrich Ranch and wait until after sundown so it'd be cooler. But he was stubborn and went on his way. I think that was the last time he was seen by anyone alive. On the afternoon of July 13th, not far from Rustler Park, Ringo's horse gets away from him. He attempts to go after his big bay, but doesn't get far. A shot is heard at about 3 p.m. at a nearby ranch. On the one afternoon of July 14th, John Yost, a teamster hauling wood, discovers John Peters Ringo's body. Breckenridge later recalls the scene. Ringo is found seated with a bullet in his head among 5 large blackjack oaks growing in a semicircle with one root, which would be that tree right there. In the center of them was a large flat rock which made a comfortable seat. So that's where he was found with a bullet in his head.
Wow.
Acquaintance John Yost discovers Ringo's body and makes this statement to the coroner. He was dressed in light hat, blue shirt, vest, pants, and drawers. On his feet were a pair of hose and an undershirt torn up as if to protect his feet. He had evidently traveled a short distance in his footgear. His revolver he grasped in his right hand, his rifle resting against the tree close to him. He had on 2 cartridge belts, the belt for the revolver cartridges being buckled on upside down. The undernote property was found with him on his person. So this is what was with him. 1 Colt revolver, 45 caliber, number 222, containing 5 cartridges. 1 Winchester rifle, octagon barrel, caliber 45, model 1876, number 21896, containing a cartridge in the breech and 10 in the magazine. 1 cartridge belt containing 9 rifle cartridges. 1 cartridge belt containing 2 revolver cartridges. 1 silver watch of American Watch Company number 9339 with silver chain attached, $2.60 in money. 6 revolver cartridges in his pocket. 2 shirt studs. 1 small pocket knife. A tobacco pipe. A comb. 1 block of matches. Small piece of tobacco, and there was also a portion of a letter from messengers Hereford and Zabriskie's, attorneys at law, Tucson, to the deceased Johnny Ringo. Okay, the aftermath and odds and ends, it says. Okay, Ringo's missing bay was found 11 days later, 2 miles from the death site. His saddle was still upon him. The Tombstone Independent reported, with Ringo's coat upon the back of it. In one of the pockets were 3 photographs and cards bearing the name Mrs. Jackson, who was Ringo's sister. In 1920, Wyatt Earp began telling a series of writers, including Forrestine Hooker, Frank Lockwood, and Frederick Botchbolt, that he had waylaid and killed Ringo as Earp and his vendetta posse were on their way out of Arizona in March 1882. Earp even drew a diagram of the fight. The problem with this claim is that Ringo died in July, almost 4 months after Wyatt has fled the state as a fugitive. This hasn't stopped some some Earp buffs from fantasizing that both Wyatt and Doc Holliday snuck back from Colorado, where they were known to have been in July of 1882, and assassinate the cowboy leader. Even the strains, I don't know that word, when one considers that Holliday at least was in court in Pueblo, Colorado, 2 days before Ringo's death. Buckskin Frank Leslie repeatedly was the first to take credit for the death of Ringo while in Yuma prison for the murder of his wife. Leslie allegedly confessed to a guard that he killed Ringo. Few believe him. Another man attached to Ringo's demise has been Johnny Behind the Deuce, Michael O'Rourke, who supposedly ambushed Ringo near the latter's camp in the Chiricahuas. Why? O'Rourke got scared up, said Fred Dodge, a Tombstone resident at the time, who shared his story with author Stuart Little. This version has even less adherents. So there's the story according to the True West magazine. That's where I got this from. And this, I'm going to give my opinion here just really quick. I believe it was a suicide. Before I read this, I didn't believe it was a suicide. But who kills somebody and leaves all that stuff on him, including $2.60, which could have easily been used for whiskey or whatever? So I believe it was a suicide because his horse got away from him and he couldn't get his horse back. And I don't know why he has no boots on.
I see.
It's hard telling what happened to the boots, but that's my opinion. I think he killed himself. I know that people want to say he was murdered, but I don't think that's true. I think it was suicide. So that's Vampyresskiss's opinion on this, and I'm sticking to it this time. And also, when you do come and see Ringo and pay your tribute to him and stuff, be sure to, you know, donate and help these people that own this property to keep it up. And you know, it's a wonderful thing that they're doing here, allowing people to come and see this. And I mean, it's a huge piece of history, at least this part of history that we're interested in. And then one thing I'd like to point out, just as a side note, I've been here like 4 times. First time I've ever seen water down there. So they must have got a lot of rain this last year.
Yeah, I was walking down there and there's whole tons of it.
Yeah.
And there's even frogs.
So, you know, Johnny, all I can say is Johnny must have been desperate, sadly. So, this is Vampyresskiss. Did you get that really good?
Yeah.
And,
Angel.
saying goodbye. Video out. Vampyresskiss here again. I'm just going to, this is just going to be like something I'm going to add to the end of the video, just because I have a question. Okay, they claim that this is the tree because of this sign that's up here. It says Jan on it. Anyway, if this tree truly is as they described, with 4 things growing up on it, I'm going to go around this tree. I don't understand. I mean, I realize we're talking 100 years ago, but even 100 years ago, where is the breakage on this tree?
It's that tree.
You know, I don't see it, because I don't even see where the roots could have. I'm really bothered by this. I know, I mean, it makes more sense that this would have been the tree because it's so close to where they put him. But then this tree looks a whole lot more like what the person that drew that one and the person that described the one.
Okay.
Because look at this. This tree's got the 3 things, and I mean, look at that. It just looks a whole lot more like it.
It is this one. Because I'm getting a good visual on it.
Okay, Angel, that's good. I don't know. I'm just going to add this to the very back of the video. And any of you history buffs, if you have anything you want to say and add, just comment below, because I'd like to hear what you got to say. And to give you a point of reference as to where I found this tree, it's right here next to the tree that fell, that I thought that was where he killed himself at first. But yeah, I'm really bothered by this one. It doesn't, I don't know why, it doesn't feel right.
Oh my goodness.
So, either way, rest in peace, Johnny Ringo.
Yeah,
I hope you found in death what you could not find in life.
Mm-hmm.